minus 0.75 plus 1 upon 8. How do we add this? So there are two methods that we can use. First, we can convert this number, this fraction into decimal, and then we can add the decimals, or we can convert this decimal into fraction and then we can add the fractions. So let's first convert this 1 upon 8 into decimal. How do we convert? We divide 1 by 8. This is what 1 upon 8 means. So 8 and 1. 1 is lesser than 8, so we put a decimal here, a 0 here for decimal. So 8 times 1 is 8, subtract 2 is remainder, again a 0 for a decimal. 8 times 2 is 16, subtract, remainder is 4. 8 times 5 is 40. Therefore, 1 upon 8 is equal to 0.125. Now we have minus 0.75 plus 0.125. Can you tell me which number is bigger? Now let's consider there is no negative sign. In that case, 0.75, this is bigger than 0.125. If you have a confusion, you can just put a 0 here. Then this is also a 3 digit after decimal and this is also 3 digit after decimal. Putting 0 here doesn't change the number. Now you can easily see that 0.750 is bigger than 0.125. Okay. Now put a negative sign here. What does that make it? It means now that positive 0.125 is bigger than this 0.750. How do we add this or subtract it? Because if it is written like this, we can also write it 0.125 minus 0.75, because this negative sign is with this number and this positive sign is with this number. So we can also write it like this. Now if we forget this negative sign, then this number is bigger than this number and we have to subtract. Therefore, we will subtract this 0.125 from 0.750 like this. Now borrow 1 here. It is 10 minus 5 is 5. This is 4 now. 4 minus 2 is 2. 7 minus 1 is 6. And decimal here. So it is 0.625. Now since this number was the bigger number, therefore we have to put the sign of the bigger number, that will be negative sign. So it is minus 0.625. To further clarify it, understand it in this manner. Consider that you have a $10 debt. You have borrowed $10 from someone and you want to return the money, but you have only $2 to return. You are in debt, that means $10 is the negative balance. You have to return $10, but you have only $2 to return. That means if you give back them $2, then the remaining debt will be $8. And since it will be debt, because you have to return $8, therefore it will be negative $8. What we do when we have such situation where the negative number is the bigger digit, we subtract from the bigger number and put the sign of the bigger number. So we subtract 2 from 10 and then write the sign of this bigger number, that is negative sign. That's what we have done here. Although in the value this number is bigger than this because it's positive and this one is negative, but we have to subtract, and numerically this number is bigger than this number, so we subtract from 0.75 and then put the sign of the bigger number numerically, not value wise. Now another method is we convert the fraction into decimal. Convert the decimal into fraction. So 0.75 plus 1 upon 8, we convert it into fraction. It will be minus 75 upon 100. Remove the decimal and count the digits after decimal. 2 digits after decimal, so it is upon 100. Now to add or subtract a fraction, we need a common denominator. So let's first reduce this fraction. 0.75 upon 100, 75 upon 100. How to reduce this? We divide both numerator and denominator by the same number. If we divide it by 25, so it will be 3 upon 4. So we can write it as minus 3 upon 4 plus 1 upon 8. Now if we multiply and divide it by 2 upon 2, then there is no change. We do it like this. Because you see 2 upon 2 is actually 1. We are multiplying it by 1, and multiplying any number by 1 doesn't change it. So instead of writing 1, we can write it 2 upon 2. So the fraction remains as it becomes equivalent fraction. So it is minus 6 upon 8 plus 1 upon 8. Now we have a common denominator. So we write 8 minus 6 plus 1. So it is minus 5 upon 8. When you convert this fraction, it will be equal to minus 0.625. How did you solve it? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching.